but it feels like you've lived a whole lifetime when you get back. Like this, it is such an immersive, out of body, different experience that it becomes your life in many ways, especially if you're like me and you play all the way to the end. I mean, I was in a hammock with Rachel, tossing back a coconut, playing like rugby and thinking about Final Tribal Council and just like goofing off, saying our goodbyes to the island. And within 24 hours, I was in the United States with a cell phone in my hand and like it kind of expected to go back to the real world. We finished Final Tribal Council. I get hit with the idea that I lost, that I didn't win the game. You go back to Ponderosa and people were kind of like already winding down for the evening. By the time we got back, it was like 3 a.m. And I woke up the next morning and they were like, all right, grab your bags. We're about to go to the airport. You're on a flight and you're back in the States. And it's like that. And so I think some people who like are at Ponderosa a little bit longer, they have a week or whatever to really debrief. I think they feel a sense of finality once the Final Tribal Council wraps up and they're ready to go home. I don't feel like I ever got the closure that I needed. I never really felt like I got an explanation, like why didn't I get the votes that I needed to win the game? What happened? How did you see it differently than me? And so you're kind of forced to just go back to the world without those answers for a little bit. And so that can be very hard, as well as the idea, like I said, you just lived this life, right? This alternate life. And not only does nobody else know about it and know what you went through, and they can't feel it like you felt it. You can't even really tell people about it. It's a secret for a while. And it's a completely different world that you can't even let the rest of your world in on for months and months and months. So that is an incredible challenge. And then I think I struggled as well with managing relationships and trying to I did wrestle for a while, I can't lie, with like this idea of I want to be friends with all of these people that I played the game with. And I want to share this camaraderie with them. And I really like some of them. And as nice as they are to me, as complimentary as they are to me, it's very hard to believe them when none of them wrote your name on parchment the last day. And so, I'd have people coming up to me being like, dude, you did so good. You're like a brilliant player. Like man, I really love you, man. You're just great. And that's great. It's great to hear. And you kind of have to ask yourself, like, but can I let this go? And I think that loomed over a lot of my relationships for the longest time, is feeling a little bit of resentment for that. And then trying to get those answers about what happened and trying to find my way to that closure. And you're doing all of that while you're just back in the real world and have to pretend like nothing happened. And that's a kind of psychologically challenging.